I'm thinking back to with my daughters, we would go hiking and play on the fallen trees while we're hiking, and that was just, we would leave those kind of afternoons like just feeling so relaxed, so connected. Those were really sort of these like all these sort of healing moments for us, to come together in nature was always everything you described. Yes. Yes. And that requires time. That requires us being able to allow our kids outside, right? Like so many parents are afraid to let their kids outside, let their kids explore, let their kids climb a tree. It's okay to let them climb a tree, They you can spot, right? Like and there's all kinds of things you could say. Does that feel comfortable for you to be out on that limb? um,
It's probably
but
better though to not be there, to let the
yeah, yeah,
child
yeah.
from the beginning explore on their own. They're smart enough. They are a body that doesn't want to die. They are, cars in the street is a different matter, but if it's the natural world, they will figure it out. And so, the book, The Continuum Concept, Jean Leeloff's book, that's one of her biggest complaints about American parents. She was the one who really started the parenting uh, nestedness, she didn't call it
Mm,
that, perspective. She published her book in 77, I think, the first edition. And she had took her a couple decades to write about her experiences in the Amazon with the Yaquana primarily, and how they were so happy and so healthy. And what's the difference? Well, they carry their babies all the time, pretty much, and they don't put them down even when they're carrying other things or crossing a slippery log on the river or whatever it is. And they don't monitor them with this fearfulness, because when you do that, she argued, and she used to give a lot of talks on television and stuff, interviews. When you do that, you start worrying about that child. The child is going to lose their self-confidence. Like if you're there watching them climb the tree and you start saying things to them, well, you just kind of put them on a trajectory of self-confidence loss. So it's better to let them have free range, as Lenore Skenazy argues, right, out there on their own. Like us baby boomers had parents who just let us play all day long, called us in for lunch, called us in for dinner, but they didn't know what we were doing, right? That's what is healthier, if you can do it.
I think this is so interesting because what you're describing is like a much more intensive time of parenting when your kids are young, right? Like there's a lot of attention. There's someone holding that baby all the time. There's lots of holding and connection, which sounds like a lot of work. and but you're also describing that once that security, that sense of, you know, connection, attunement, all of that is established, then a child's going to have a lot more confidence, a lot more independence. And so some of the things we want, that independence, right, can happen really naturally, sort of as a child gets older, if we allow it.
That's right. Yeah. So that means age 6 or so. That's when they can go off on their own and they have the cognitive capacities to think about stuff more. But you follow the child. Every child's different. Their developmental rate is different. And so it's a matter of being sensitive to them. And then as soon as they indicate they want to, do something like crawl away from you, well, let them do it. Don't prevent them. So you're sensitive to the signals of their developmental compass, internal compass about how to grow well. And as long as you are sensitive to that, they're going to have a great life, because those early years are when they establish what kind of person they are. Do they think they're a good person, a bad person? What they think about relationships? Are they trustworthy or not? Is this world a good place to be or not? That's all being established subliminally by how they are treated and what they experience.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, my when my oldest daughter was 6, we gave her a little toolkit, actually. I remember that was the age she got this little toolkit. Had a little hand crank, drill, had a little saw. She drilled holes into all her blocks. We had all these blocks with drill holes in them. And And yeah, we showed her how to use the saw. So and where to use the saw, not in the house or in the in the yard. Um, but but yeah, those things can happen, and those, when you have a child who is curious, following that curiosity, kind of allowing, like, okay, well, this is what you want to learn. Let's learn that. Let's learn that.
And part of that is letting them help with the chores around the house.
Mm.
There seems to be a sensitive period for that between ages maybe 1 and 4 or something, where they want to help, even though they do a terrible job. You have to refold the laundry, for example, right? But traditional communities know that that's part of their learning, and that's how they become part of the community. If you set them in front of the TV instead, then that period passes. They become a teenager. They don't want to help you. They learn not to help you. And then all of a sudden you want them to help you. So you got to, again, pay attention to what they're interested in and follow that.
Catch new episodes of the Mindful Mama podcast and other free resources, including the Mindful Mom Guide at mindfulmamamentor.com. You can listen to every back catalog episode, including interviews with Dr. Dan Siegel, Iyanla Vanzant, Sharon Salzberg, and get meditations, join our private Facebook group, and more. Go to mindfulmamamentor.com now. I'll see you there.